Hi, this is Anne from Duct Tape and Denim. And in case we haven't met before, I have a small handmade business and I also buy and resell a lot of vintage items, and I also repurpose many of them to resell. I mostly sell online and I mostly sell handmade, but I know a lot of my followers do more vintage, like go to thrift stores, garage sales, flea markets, and either buy and just flip or buy and repurpose. So I wanted to focus this video just on my antique booth. It's not an antique booth, it's my booth in an antique mall. So I wouldn't call what I do antiques. I would call it more vintage, and a lot of it is handmade. They allow me to sell my handmade and the t-shirts that we do also there. So have you heard smalls make the rent? That's what happened in my booth. I didn't sell any furniture or any large items. I have some big mirrors, some big windows, none of them sold. Everything was a small this month. And still, I had one of the best months that I've had in a long time. Okay, now here is the list. First of all, I'm gonna start with the kitchen area in my booth. All of the cafeteria trays sold this month. Well, I won't say all of them. I can't remember how many I started with, maybe 15, maybe 20, but around in that area. I sold a couple right off the bat. I sold some online when I showed them to y'all on my Facebook Live haul video. And then for the past month or couple of months, I've sold like one, probably every couple of weeks. Just completely random, but I left them in there thinking I'm going to get rid of them because I don't want to put them back in storage. And then last month, like in a week, they all sold. So I don't know what happened to make those so popular, but they all sold on different days in a week. And also the divided Dallas ware plates sold that same week. I don't know if they went to the same person or not. Those are all things that I got from that estate sale at the old school, where the museum came and bought this old school, and they were selling out everything that was in it, and everything was still in the cafeteria, including all the trays. So I bought a big stack of them. In the kitchen area, also a red Pyrex mixing bowl sold. That was actually Lauren's. She was cleaning out her kitchen and was gonna get rid of some stuff, so we put it in there. I sold a crocheted chicken. I don't know if I'm gonna make any more of those or not. We'll see, but it did sell. The wash your hands sign, which is something that's left over. I bought it wholesale when we were selling at Canton, and I still have several of those left, so you'll see them again in the future. I've sold that, and a 7-Up bottle that was next to it. The 7-Up bottle we just dug up at my grandmother's house out in the back, so it was probably where some old trash was thrown or something. Also from the kitchen, a blue creamer and the wooden cheese slicer that it was sitting on sold. The kitchen prayer trivet sold. That sold, I think, the day after I put it in, so that didn't last very long at all. I don't see those very often, even in antique malls, so if y'all see one of those out while you're thrifting or at the flea market, you might want to grab it. I also sold a yellow enamelware bowl with some fake strawberries in it. If you've been watching my reels during March, you might have seen my little green area that I set up under one of the tables. And from that area, I sold some St. Patrick's Day postcards, quite a few of them, in fact. I need to go check them, make sure. I think 5 or 6, maybe more. I'll share that with you in a minute when I get to the postcard part. All of the green glass vases that were in there, and those are just the florist vases, the clear green glass. That's hard to say. And 3 of those little ceramic frogs that I got. I found those in a bag, I think at Goodwill, or another thrift store. You know how they put little things in bags and just sell them like $3.95 a bag? So 3 of those little frogs sold. Okay, silver versus brass. I sold a brass coat rack out of my booth. That's probably the biggest thing that I have sold all month, because it was a full-size coat rack. You'll see it in the picture. I think I've got baskets hung on it, so I don't have that anymore, but it was taking up quite a bit of space too. I think, yes, in last week's thrift haul, I showed you some hammered brass goblets. There were only 2 of them, and I put them in the booth, and then they sold the next day. So those are popular. So brass gets a thumbs up. But I also sold a silver teapot. That took a little longer. And I sold some silver coasters. But there is quite a bit of silver sitting there in the booth on the shelf that hasn't sold. So I think this month brass won. So I'll be pulling out some more brass next month. Also on the front wall, I sold a butterfly. I think I just sold one butterfly, maybe two. And one of the baskets, which I was hoping, I guess I should have priced them together, but I was thinking, well, if you buy one, maybe you'd get both to match, but they only bought one. Some other random things that sold were some clear glass candlesticks, which I had to mark down because they're clear glass. I also sold some depression glass candlesticks. That gorgeous hand-painted portrait that was on a plate, I think it was Bavarian China. It sold, and it sold just in a couple of days also. And then there were 4 little berry bowls that were hand-painted, and those sold. Then there's a couple of things I call staples, which they're one-of-a-kind pieces, but I sell a lot of them, like books. And actually, I only sold 3 books. That's because I don't have a bookshelf right now. I have, within sight of me right now, I can see 5 stacks like this tall of books that I need to get into the booth, but I don't have a bookshelf because the bookshelf sold because I put a ridiculous price on it thinking nobody would buy it, and they did. So I have no bookshelf. So that needs to be one of my goals for this month, is to find a bookshelf. We only sold 5 t-shirts, which that's a little low for us, but typically this is a slow time of year, so I wouldn't think that that was slow normally, but considering how well everything else did, I think it's slow now. So, and things that I made, we sold 4 jewelry cabinets that we painted. My niece did, I think, I'm going to show you the one that she painted because it's gorgeous. It's like a teal blue with gold trim on it. I sold 5 bracelets, 11 pair of earrings, 2 pins, and bookmarks is something new that I made this month, and we sold 9 of those. So we've already made more of those, and they're already over there again. And then there's a little category I call impulse buys that are like $1 items, like maybe $1.25, $1.50, small things. Stickers. I sold 56 stickers, y'all. I'm always shocked by that because I'll sell 5 or 10 of them at a time, which is crazy. But just to have some little things, and I use them as fillers in bowls a lot, just so it looks like a full, the area is full, your vignette is kind of full. Postcards. I also sell a lot of postcards. Now, this month I had St. Patrick's Day themed postcards and Easter themed postcards, and I wrote the difference on there. And some of them, I think they just, on my sales report, I think they just wrote postcard. So 24 St. Patrick's Day postcards, 13 Easter postcards, and 40 postcards. So those postcards, I don't know if they were a holiday or just a plain, one of the retro design postcards. Now, one thing that was disappointing to me this month that did not sell well was our fabric Easter eggs. They sold good online, but they did not sell well in the store. Who knows? Thanks for watching. Y'all let me know if this is helpful to you, or if you would like to know what I sold online instead, or if you would like to know anything about the business, get any advice, or if you have advice for me, let me know. I always like to learn more stuff. So thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, commenting, and sharing, and we appreciate y'all.